So I'm 40 now, and I'm officially an old geezer. It feels very bad, but I like to recap my year, and the year was not, I wouldn't say as good as last year. It was more better optimistic wise, looking into the future. That's what was good about this year as opposed to the previous year. I mean 2020 as opposed to 2019, because I have started trading stocks, and so my future money wise is starting to look much more optimistic, but emotionally wise it's hasn't been it's better than previous years, most previous years, but it wasn't the best year 2020 for me, because my focus, which is my love interests, have dwindled a bit. They sort of drifted. My priority in that sense has diminished a lot. It of course, that's my main thing, my love interest. That's the center of my life, but I had to deprioritize it due to health issues. Yeah, I put a lot of effort into my love interests. The pandemic, coronavirus, I don't mean to offend anyone. I know it's been horrible for a lot of people, but in another sense, it presented a lot of great opportunities, because a collapsed situation means you can the barrier to entry for a lot of people becomes doable, becomes overcomable. So I mean, in the sense that the stock market and opportunities to connect with people because they're stuck at home. So I figured, I couldn't get a better gift than to have my love interests time, to have them be able to spend all the time in the world with me. And that's what I was looking for when everyone was forced to stay home. I was looking forward to spending all the time I can with my love interest, but uh, things didn't work out as I figured they would. Uh, I I thought, you know, they uh, were as eager to spend time as me as with me as I was with them. I thought that was they're gonna be their main priority. I thought they were obsessed with me as I was with them, but not so. It appeared. I was very heartbroken when I saw they only spent pretty much the same time as they used to before. They were stuck at home, and not only that, uh, even less time, if you can believe it. So it made me scratch my head and wonder what the situation is with them, the real situation. So I had to think about this a lot, and it's a big mystery to me, this relationship I have with them. I can't figure it's just a puzzle, and yeah, it was very, very disappointing, devastating that they would not want to spend all their time with me, and it didn't make any sense. So there's a mystery to it, and I have to do a lot of guesswork to figure out what the issue is. Did they not feel the same way as I did to them, or do they have some other guys, or are they jealous from each other, or do they have interest in the neighbors? What is it? And I got sick of this guesswork. So eventually, I made all the effort I can. I put all the work, to grab their attention, to grab their love, and to draw them in, and I put all the effort I could think of, and time, lots of time, a ton of time, and yeah, just or another thing that they think I was creepy. I was some dangerous. Well, I couldn't figure out. So a lot of hours, and just doing things creatively, whatever I could think of to draw them in, and nothing worked. And when I stopped, they would come back. It's like they're playing hard to get. Maybe it was positive reinforcement for their bad behavior toward me, their bad treatment of me. I don't know. Could be because when I stopped, they do things to draw me in. They come closer, and when I start again, they go away. It's the same with all of them, all five of them, five love interests, but one I had to quit and she left. Uh, yes, she moved out, and the other I gave up on to focus on the three main ones, and she quit pursuing me, trying to pursue me. She gave up on me because I gave up on her, but the other three, I couldn't make any breakthroughs with them, and eventually I stopped caring. I stopped going, putting the same energy, reinvesting the same energy as I did before, and it ended up that they became less of a priority to me eventually, and it's not something I wanted. It's, I didn't. It was not purposeful. It wasn't due to them, but it due to me because of health issues. I just had to reprioritize, and after disengaging them for a while, and when I went to re-engage them again, I found I just didn't have the ability to invest the same energy as I was doing before. My health just didn't allow it. Just a physical constraint on my part. It's not their fault, but yeah, when you get old, your health gradually falls apart. Your physical body disintegrates more and more. I think we're meant to live to 33 years old max, human beings. So I'm very disappointed in this sense, and now I know why old people can't find interest in beautiful girls, or beautiful men if they're a woman, how they are completely disinterested in what they used to be so attractive to as young people. I know how they get to that stage. So it's yeah, it's very bad thing to witness the disintegration of human beings as you grow in age. How you see that, start to see what how old people turn out to be the way they are. You know, because I used to have an old lady for a next door neighbor. Yeah, and these are the things I saw in her. And she lived alone, all alone, and she had no interest in anything really. So uh, I can see how that's the case, how one can have interest in nothing and no one, how they can eventually end up that way. And you see that as you age yourself, you see the process. So yeah, it's uh, things are looking better uh, in the social conscious sense, which I'm talking about money, and that's the only thing society cares about really. But in the uh, sense that really that well I wouldn't say money doesn't matter less than it. I I mean, I'm not saying money matters less than it, but you know, in the sense that's ultimately the most important, which is your emotional well-being. I would say uh, it hasn't been that great of an year, although this is only yeah, and well, I'm still glad I have some bad people out of my life. That's one thing that's very plus 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 plus, and for that reason I'm very uh, happy about and very positive have a very positive outlook about the future, and confident, and because of those bad people out of my life, and also money gives you a little of a pick up socially wise, and which in turn picks up your self-esteem and outlook, and that's very important for you know to be uplifted, your sense of security. So in that sense I feel good, but yeah, I still regret that I have to deprioritize the thing that's most important to me, which is my love interest. And yeah, but it's a funny thing with them. One moment I want to give them the world, and the next second I want nothing to do with them. I wonder if this is how relationships always are, love relationships. 1 minute you want to give them all you have, and the next second, 1 second later, you want to forget them completely. And yeah, just yesterday that's what I wanted. I want to give them everything, and the 1 second later, due to some happenings, I wanted to have nothing to do with them, and that's what I'm feeling today, like not having anything to do with them. So I hate this guesswork. I don't know why girls love to be mysterious. Maybe yeah, and I'm less infatuated with the image of a female than I was in previous years. I don't see the female form or being as almighty as I used to put it in some magical sense. You know, I'm not as infatuated as I used to be in the female, because yeah, I think I matured significantly in the last 6 months or 3-4 months, and my perspective of the female. Now I see them as similar to males, but yeah, just in a different format. I don't see them like I used to. I'm not saying I'm turning homosexual, but yeah, I'm seeing them as human beings rather than these supernatural creatures. You know, I have to, that draw me to them, you know, that are irresistible. Somehow supernaturally, magically pull me towards them. I just see them as another human beings, and maybe that's why they have reservations to engage me, because they see the reality. They are who they are. They know what they are. Where I'm on the other side of the lawn, and you know, the grass always looks greener from the other side. So yeah, I'm starting to see them more as the humans they are, and I'm starting to see, to acknowledge, recognize the flaws that all humans have. I mean, physically, that they encompass them too. The flaws, yeah, are built into them too. So yeah, I'm not seeing them as these perfect, you know, things, creations, like I used to see them. and maybe they knew, again, they knew that, and they are much more mature than I am, and that's why they haven't been as obsessed as I have been with them. They haven't been obsessed with me as I have been with them, because they knew who they are, and they didn't see what I saw in them. So yeah, it's grounding. I'm a much more grounded person, you can say, and for that reason, that's why I don't invest the same amount of effort as I did before. You know, I'm starting to expect more from them than I used to, and yeah, but it's still disappointing to me. I would like to give them more, but we're gonna have to meet on some middle ground now, if it's gonna be work between me and them. I can't be bothered anymore, and but yeah, I started not going to them as I used to. Not, I mean, physically going to them, seeking them, giving them my presence, and expecting them to wait for me rather than me waiting for them. And yeah, and by eventually my lifestyle changed drastically. I am, you can say, bedridden, because I spend from 7 to at 1 p.m., 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. awake doing things, and I sleep the rest of the time. I wake up for a bit at 7 p.m., 1 or 2 hours, and I sleep so I'm sleeping 16 hours a day, and I'm awake 8 hours at most, and between eating and cleaning and, you know, whatever, doing the daily chores, it's time becomes very precious, very you have very scant, so I don't have the time I used to, and I have to use my time very judiciously, and yeah, I can't waste time and just you know, waiting for things that never materializes. I need to use my time as effectively as I have, as I can. I am a greatly ambitious person. I have great plans for the future, but my physical well-being uh, makes me doubt how much I can accomplish in the future. That's the only thing. So I have to figure out what the future beholds for me. I'm not sure if I can accomplish all the revolutionary things I want to accomplish given my physical state of being. I uh, I guess I'm a thinking person. I'm a brain basically. Right now, 8 hours of physical activity, of being out of bed, is the most I can do with in a practical sense, in a sense that's right for me, that's humane for me. Otherwise, I'll be in excruciating pain. Not that I'm not in excruciating pain when I'm in bed, but it will be, unconscionable for me to not be resting when I'm in that state. And my issues are mainly that I have hypothyroidism, and I don't take anything for that. I got some issues with my teeth, and I need a lot of money to fix those, so I'm working on that with the stock market. And I got some long that's been going on for most of my life, for the last 25 years of my life. Abdominal pain, something that the doctors won't help me with. Free medicine isn't the best, I assure you that. But I mean free healthcare, to be exact. So that's my top health problem. It's the abdominal pain. I don't know if it's a liver problem or an intestine problem, but it's pretty severe, and I have to figure out how this works, how I can resolve this health issue. I've been trying. I messed up my health for the first 15 years of my life, eating all bad foods, having a very, very bad diet. But then, the rest of the time I've been very careful, very, very cautious. I've been trying to take care of my health as best as I can, and nothing would fix it. So it's a puzzle to me how most people can go on their day-to-day activities, because I know many people most people go through the same uh, experiences that I have in terms of, or go through do the same mistakes I have, diet wise and everything else. So I don't know how most people are can do what they can. They're not suffering like I am or worse. And I've been trying to make myself better by taking care of myself as best as humanly possible for the last 25 years. But other people seem stronger than me and healthier than me, and just very puzzling. And I don't think most people are healthy. I think most people suffer from really bad conditions. But yeah, the way things are, uh, they can't do anything about it. They have to go on doing their work, taking care of their families, but in reality, that behind the scenes, they're all suffering really bad pain throughout their body, dysfunction due to their mistreatment of their bodies, and yeah, most people I think need a lot of fixing, but yeah, I think it's a common thing in the world. This torture. Torture is the most common thing in the world. It's the common theme throughout history, and from the beginning of time to now. Torture people, not just people, creatures too, all creatures. The torture that disease brings, and everyone has health problems, and this is common throughout everyone. And torture comes in, but it's not only health problems, but it can be from people or from work. So there's three sources of torture, and mostly in the second and third world, it's people torturing other people, and it's work torturing other people. They have to do work that's pretty much torture. And in the first world, and with people torturing other people, it could come in two forms, both physical torture and emotional torture. Physical violence and emotional abuse. But in the first world, it's mostly emotional abuse. That's the torture from people. And but regardless, whether you're in the first world, second world, third world, ultimately everyone is facing the torture of health issues, health problems, and uh, that's the main thing in the world, and that's the main thing that's gonna be going forward, that it's gonna curse mankind, keeps on cursing mankind, and you can't escape. It's the torture of health problem, and yeah, it's the main problem we humans have to somehow figure to resolve. How can we get this that torture of health problems? How can we treat it, get rid of the torture, this form of torture? This is the only one that that will persist. Torture is torture, whether it's being caused by people, whether it's being caused by you having going to work and doing something that's torturous, or whether it's caused by health problem. We're all facing the same thing. We're all facing the same bad, and it is torture. Yeah, whether it was 100 years ago or today, it's the same thing. We got the same problem, and that is torture. Man should focus on effort to get rid of torture in a general sense, whatever form it comes in. And this form, you can't, it's very hard to escape, So yeah, we're all being tortured, Has life really gotten better since 1,000 years ago? From today, is life better today? That's the question. It's not really. We're still being tortured. It's good. Other people aren't torturing us anymore. We got that off our back, and work is much more humane, less torturous. But we're still facing the same issues. People torturing other people, work torturing other people, and the main one, which no one can escape yet, which mankind never figured a way to escape, is physical health problems torturing people. So that's the thing. And so it's my situation, my being on the subject of animals being tortured. My dog died this year, sadly. I can't forget. I can't accept, to be more accurate, that my dog Nancy died. The best dog ever, the most obedient and calmest dog. And she knew 55 tricks. I wanted to tape her, but I couldn't. I didn't have the camera or the camera helper, someone to just pick up the camera to tape her, to help me tape her doing all these tricks. You know, I'm very sad I couldn't, you know, save the things she accomplished in her life and show that to the world how smart this dog was. I regret not giving her much attention. It was something I consciously chose not to do because I want to be a sort of authority figure to her, a sort of teacher. I want to draw boundaries between each other, and in that sense I was very stern with her and never gave her much time or attention, only to train her sometimes, and even then I stopped, you know, putting any effort. Yeah, I didn't treat her right, that's for sure. Yeah, so if you have sensitive teeth, you wanna drink out of the bottle like a straw, so the cold water doesn't touch your teeth. It's a trick for you. Yeah, it's very hard to accept. I wanna go to my grave not being able to come to terms with losing this dog. Never got to do all the things I want to do with her, all the things she deserved to have done with her. She was too smart, too good, and again, we just don't have the technology to take care of animals. We just don't have the technology to keep them healthy. We don't have the facilities to allow them to go to the bathroom when they have to. We don't have the facilities to get their teeth cleaned on a regular basis so they stay healthy and not get infected. We don't have the facilities for them to wash themselves. There's no way dogs can escape the torture of health problems or mitigate them in the least bit. So it's yeah, got a lot of work to do. Mankind has lots of work to do. All that nonsense politics and you know, religious wars and money, wealth gaps. It's all nonsense. We got progress. We got lots of progress to make. I'd like to contribute, but like I say, my health restricts me significantly from doing anything. I'm just a brain. I can only dream up things, you know. Having said that, I'm reminded I was yesterday listening to the song Imagine by John Lennon for a long time. All sort of all sort of singers singing, and I listened it to like an hour and a half, and it's a very ironic, the title of song and the content of the song. It's ironic what the title of the song is given the content of the song. The song is all about not having an imagination. It's it's all about not imagining anything. It's a lack of a song of lack of imagination, and with the first world, everything we have here is due to an abundance of imagination. That's why the first world has all these amazing things. It's got this packaging. As this packaging, get the and this stuff here. Get the if you have no idea how this technology works, it's how does this technology work? It's very hard to see how it works. How was this ink imprinted on this plastic? How does ink get onto the plastic? If you don't know that, if you're not familiar with that technology, it's hard to visualize the process that makes that happen, where you got pictures on plastic, and or plastic bags having writings on it. How does this work? And the contours all taken into account, or it's just we're so much advanced. If you look at a modern day cartoon, it's amazing the sort of textures they show you, the sort of animation, this stuff. If you don't have the education, the technical knowledge about how they're made, you just can't visualize. It's just magic to you. It's amazing stuff. You just can't visualize yourself accomplishing these things. They're so far out of reach from where you are, and it all starts from a piece of dirt, a grain of sand, and everyone has access to this grain of sand. And what is a computer? A computer is a 0 or a 1. 0 or a 1. It means nothing. It's completely meaningless. A 0 and a 1. But from the grain of sand of 0 and 1, we are able to construct the most sophisticated artificial intelligence, the most sophisticated things, constructs to do things for us, to show numbers on the screens, words on the screens, and to do logical stuff, logical problems, solve, extract, search results, do so many complicated things. And it's all started show amazing game graphics, play games, or with worlds that are that have worlds in them, virtual worlds that go on forever, or you able to interact with someone and the others on the other side of the world in real time. This is all amazing stuff, and it's all started from 0 and 1 that mean nothing. It's the grain of sand of 0 and 1. How do these bottles come to be? How do these bottles come to be? It's just amazing stuff. We're living an amazing time, and how did we get here? It's because of imagination. Someone imagined that, taking, one, if you only have one, in the sense of computers, 0, 1, if I'm talking about bits, those who don't have any knowledge of computers, because computers are all constructed with the basic unit of 0 and 1. So if you only have one, you only have nothing. You got a meaningless string. You can't do anything with a string. A string just swirls in the air, does nothing. Very limited use. 1, 1, 1, 1, or a string. What can you do with a string? You can't form a shape. You can't do anything with a string. You need another point. With 1 nail, you can't do anything with 1 nail. You need 2 nails at 2 different spots. Only then can you do things. And so if you got no imagination, you only have the string, you got nothing else. You need another fixed point. Then you can do a lot of stuff. So and it's all different forms of this 0, 1, this grain of sand, and uh, and we built up this amazing world that we have today. It's a very amazing world, and it's all due to abundance of imagination, not the lack of imagination, but an abundance of imagination. So yeah, and we got lots of work to do, and to get rid of this torture we're all facing, this problem we're all facing. But I like the way the world is moving forward, and I hoping to make lots of money in the stock market. I say the coronavirus has been a blessing for me financially wise. I know I acknowledge a lot of people got hurt, but for me it's been a big opportunity, and both due to the government stimuluses. I never got anything personally, but my mother got some, and she was able to share it with me, and my uncle too. He stayed with us. He helped a bit with the money, so I was able to get some traction in the stock market. And yeah, I'm still dirt poor right now, but I got some bit in the stock market, and I think I can grow it from here on. And hopefully I'll be able to take some bit at a time from there, and live a respectable life, or a very rich life eventually. And the main things I want to do, if I get super rich, which I plan on doing, become a multi-millionaire. That's the ultimate goal. I want to help a lot of people, and I want to transform the living space of how people, the living space technology, the shelter technology. I want to transform homes, because I know what needs to be changed. I've been stuck in a house ever since I left high school when I was 20 years old. I know there's lots of changes that need to be done to make people's lives better. New forms of this homes, so they need to change a lot, but I need a lot of money to get this done, to see my projects out, and then yeah, and I spend a lot of money on healthcare, my own healthcare, and yeah, spend some money on getting a real personal love interest. I mean, someone that are that's physically with me for uh, finally, and I want to spend some money on a personal assistant, of course. But yeah, it's all in the imagination now, and I'm a lazy person right now, so I don't see how I can do all that stuff. But I'm just a brain, but that's the goal. That's the future objective for me. And yeah, it feels sucks that I'm now 4 years old and I, nothing even happened today on my birthday. Got nothing. Like I expected some fireworks, something big. But it's all fizzled, no eventful thing. Well, maybe always eventful stuff happen on my birthday. Yes, I think I'm someone special, but yeah, it's not the spectacular thing I was expecting for my 40th birthday, and I expected something big. Oh well, you gotta learn to accept what the cards that you are dealt with in life. And yeah, I you know, it feels good. It feels good to feel like uh, the world is within your grasp. It feels very good. And because, like, again, of the stock market, I have a very good chance. It took me a lot of tries. If you don't know what you're doing, I don't recommend it. But now I finally got it. Got how to make money in the stock market, and it's not an easy thing. You need a lot of, uh, you need a lot of experience to figure it out. And yeah, I was last year it was all making YouTube videos. I was hoping I could have captured a following, but that didn't materialize. It didn't materialize at all. So I moved on. I would have liked to become, a sensation, but as you can see, it's a tough one for me to do. It's possible I don't have what it takes, the persona it takes, the speech, the speech skills it takes, and yeah, or the equipment it takes. But I'd like to eventually do a channel, put some investment in becoming someone popular. I think I have a lot to share. So yeah, I look forward to the future. I'm not happy getting older. It's a very bad thing to me. I'm an old geezer now, officially. and yeah, but what can you do? I like to uh, do things right. I don't want to lie to myself. I don't want to be pathetic and act like it's not happening. Aging, my body's getting fat like my father was getting when he was starting to become my age. uh, I want to be real about it. I want to take it step by step, and you know I don't want to be, I don't want to lie to myself. I want to age with grace, and we don't have the technology to keep ourselves healthy like we should. But what can you do? I want to give it my all, and uh, yeah, you press on. That's the way life goes, and yeah, I I look forward to everything that's gonna come, and hopefully next year I will be a multi-millionaire.